Medical breakthroughs come in all forms, from the latest medications and surgeries to therapies that are life-changing. I can tell you, it sounds like we're hearing firearms right now. We hear gunshots. This is one of the neighborhoods in Moore that it took a few days for us to get clearance in. Now, as you can see, these houses are just a total loss. We are closely following this winter storm. That's the fourth swiftwater rescue in the county since February. So we got a combination of it all.
You got it. No snow, though.
That's what's very important.
Yeah.
Bree, I know this is developing right now as we speak. Can you tell us a little bit about the area that this situation is happening in? Or play a friendly game of Rock Band. I think I'm pretty good. Although I want to jump into the big pile behind me, I won't because I have to look halfway decent on TV. This was a gas station and a 7-Eleven right next to each other. Roanoke Fire and EMS responds to a deadly house fire today just before 3:30. If you have plans to go outside, you could expect to be out and then run right back in. Let's say I'm in a situation where Officer Welsh has to put me in the back seat of his car. The rear view camera lets him keep a record of what I'm doing so he can protect himself and protect the person who's in the back seat. And police say it's critical for people to keep sharing information, whether it's for the sexual assault case like the one we're talking about. Got the umbrellas, and then you have the weekend where it'll be nice and sunny. He said that will hurt his client's chance of having a jury that can remain unbiased. Looking around where the tornado left its mark in Moore, Oklahoma, hundreds of volunteers surrounded those who lost everything. But drive along this dirt road just 25 miles east and you see families struggling to get their lives back together alone.
People need help. Where we are now, these people were kind of forgotten.
This is where God's Pit Crew knew their kind hearts and strong work ethic could make a huge difference.
See the look on their faces when you drive up and when you leave. Feels good.
The volunteers first started helping the Newbern family.
We worked yesterday till noon and we got crawling when we got down so bad. And I really appreciate it. I don't know how I can ever repay anybody.
Now the Newberns began to look for their carport. That's one piece that they couldn't find after the tornado hit. Here's where they found it, up in a tree, a half-acre away. Carol Newbern says she was completely overwhelmed after the storm first hit. Luckily for Carol, she was able to bring her friends and family into this storm shelter. We've heard several reports that these save lives.
I'm not as paranoid, I'm not as frightened.
In no time, God's Pit Crew started clearing a path, making it easier for the Newberns to get back into their home. The volunteers say they're thankful for all the donations people have been making in our area.
People are willing to give. We'll use it.
And these volunteers are certainly making use of those donations, working day in and day out to help these families get back to the lives they once knew. It's easy to find people taking advantage of the new outdoor seating at Market Square. Some paying customers and others who are just kind of hanging out. Sam and Kristen Barrett both work at Blues Barbecue right in the square. They say they're not alone when worrying about the growing number of homeless people sometimes panhandling in the newly renovated area.
It affects us because of our customers. It makes them feel very uncomfortable when they're coming up asking for money and also trying to sit at the table with them, asking them for food.
They'll choose a table that's farther away from someone who might just be loitering around or maybe go inside as opposed to using our patio.
So we decided to check out Roanoke City's code to see what's considered breaking the law when it comes to some of the homeless people here on Market Square. So if someone's just sitting at the tables here, even for hours, but not really bothering anyone, there's nothing police can do about that. But let's say I'm getting some cash out of an ATM and someone persistently keeps asking you for money. That's when it becomes aggressive solicitation, and that person can be taken to jail or given a summons to appear in court. We checked with city leaders who say they are actively working on solutions.
Definitely something we take seriously, and so what we have to do is balance people's rights and being treated with dignity along with having a public square that people want to be in.
Roanoke City Manager Chris Morrill says some solutions they've considered are creating surveillance, possibly adding high visibility cameras, making sure there's lots of activities going on, and keeping that strong police presence with both foot and bicycle patrol.
But we're going to continue to do whatever we can to make it a great public space.
A public space most business owners agree is great, and hopefully one customers can feel comfortable in. Cassandra Morton, murdered at 23 years old in 2009. Samantha Clark, missing at 19 years old since 2010.
Joan Cook, missing at 45 since 2012. And unfortunately, the list doesn't end there. These are just some of the faces of the missing and murdered during the last 5 years in our area. For the first time, these families sat down to discuss what's happening in our community.
Why has this become important for you not to sit back and let this happen to another person?
Somebody hurt them and took them from us. That's not right. I mean, there's an evil part to it. It's not accidental.
Please, let us know.
An evil now Laura and Trina Murphy and Angela Taylor know too well after their daughter and niece, 17-year-old Alexis Murphy, disappeared August 3rd.
It's hard. She just loves music. And I miss her laying on the sofa because she loves to sleep.
Is this an evil you didn't know existed until August 3rd?
It is a miracle, and that's all I can say. It is short of a miracle that any of us sitting at this table can get up in the morning and get dressed and have some semblance of a normal life.
These families say predators took their children, and they've taken others. Just look at these faces and these lives that they say mean too much to stand back and do nothing.
Medical breakthroughs come in all forms, from the latest medications and surgeries to therapies that are life-changing. Fox's Karen McNew learned research at Virginia Tech Carilion Research Institute is helping not only our local families with children who have cerebral palsy, but are also making an international impact. Dr. Say Connor was able to make it through open heart surgery only because he had such a strong heart from years of swimming. Another candidate announces his run for former Senator Phil Puckett's vacant state Senate seat. Tazewell County Supervisor Mike Heim says he is seeking the Democratic nomination for the 38th District. For this week's Bob Greby's Virginia, we take a look back at Feeding America Southwest Virginia's Day of Service and examine the organization's year-round need for volunteers. In tonight's 10:30 top story, the Montgomery County Board of Supervisors approves a new polling precinct at Virginia Tech. Students and faculty have worked for several years to make this a reality. Fox's Bethany Teague talked to area leaders about why they hope this precinct will cut down on long lines and confusion at the polls in November. Energy is concerned about what proposed legislation that would require the closure of all of its North Carolina coal ash dumps by 2029. The company says that's about half the 30 years it will need. Cool stories trending now. Thailand's king endorses the military's decision to take control of the country, calling for, quote, reconciliation among the people. Welcome back. New at 7 tonight, some people in the Star City decided to honor fallen soldiers today by exercising. It's called the Murph Challenge, and it's part of a fundraiser benefiting the Lieutenant Michael Murphy Scholarship Foundation. Crews are searching the bottom edge of a massive mudslide in Colorado for 3 men who went missing last night. Deputies say the search has been slowed down because only the lower third of the slide is stable. But now to a WSLS Consumer Watch. A lot of Americans are spending this Memorial Day thinking about their next move, as in the move to their next home. Although home sales have been a bit disappointing so far this year, there's reason to believe they're about to pick up. If you have plans to go outside, you could expect to be out and then run right back in. Although home sales have been a bit disappointing so far this year, there's reason to believe they're about to pick up. Don Jeffries explains. Police tell us a person is in custody after barricading themselves inside a home with a gun. WSLS 10's Bree Jackson is following this story and joins us now live from Rutroff Road, where it all happened.
Is there any indication that Taylor will tell investigators now where the body is? He's got nothing left to lose.
Well, that is the big question, John, because after hearing all this evidence, we're not any closer to finding out where Alexis Murphy's body is. Now, Taylor can't take any sort of plea agreement. We are past that point, but he could say to the judge, if I tell you where she is, could that have some leniency on my sentencing? But we'll have to see come July 23rd when that happens.